Rubio.
Hello Boundless citizens, it's Boundmore here, and this video is about Boundless elements. So I'll be talking about gems and elements connected to them, about the worlds that you can find gems on, about elemental creatures and gems lingbows, as well as machines and power coils and their color coding. Other than that, this video gives you a chance to win gems lingbows. I'll be giving away 3 of them, so there'll be 3 winners among all of you that watch the video, and look for instructions hidden. They'll be scattered along the video, so you will have to watch it carefully, and then you will be able to learn 5 steps of what to do to enter the competition. And if you do this, you will enter the draw at the end. I will give it a week from the moment I post the video in the forums, and after the week, three of you out of all of you that watch the video and follow the steps and instructions will win 1 gem lingbow each. It all starts with gems. There are 6 of them, starting from top to bottom here in the storage. You can see them in their raw form, and there the white one is diamond, then the red ruby, the blue sapphire, yellow topaz, green emerald, and purple is amethyst. Gems are rare resources, and they can only be found on higher tier worlds, which brings us to the map of Boundless universe. The current in-game universe comprises 12 planets. They are divided into 4 planetary groups, or system if you will, as you can see in the chart here. And each system has 3 planets. The lowest planets here in the chart are the home worlds, and the ones in the middle line are the moon worlds, or second tier planets. Some of them will have gems, and the top line of planets are the so-called ring worlds, and all of them spawn gems. Okay, it's time for first instruction, first step that leads you to entering the competition and giving you a chance to win a gems lingbow. And all you need to do is to press a like button below the video. Okay, so back to our chart. Let's talk about what gems spawn on which worlds. Starting from the left of the chart, we have Nazaril, that spawns sapphire. Then moving to the right, we have Volpto, where you can find ruby, and Epsilon, with deposits of topaz. Then further right, there is Montine 7, that offers amethysts. And finally, in the last planetary system, we have Alternic, that has deposits of emerald, and Anduin, that spawns diamonds. Each gem has its corresponding element, meaning there are 6 elements in the current Boundless setup, and in game they are represented by these icons. As you can see, they are made of symbols displayed in a square, and the square's color corresponds with color of the gem it represents. Starting from the left, we have blast element connected with diamond. And because the symbols used in icons are white, the square color is more on the gray side, or silver. You could argue what color it is exactly, but it does mean to represent diamonds white. Then the next element is called burn, and it's connected to ruby, so the square is red. Moving to the right, we have chill, bound with sapphire, and that's why the icon has a blue background. Further right, there is shock element icon, and since it's connected with topaz, the square here is yellow. Top right is toxin corresponding to emerald, and the symbol is placed on a green background. Finally, moving down, we find corrosion that is bound to amethyst, so the square is purple. It's time for the second step of instructions. This time you are asked to subscribe to Earthwaves, my channel that is dedicated solely to the world of Boundless. Your only desire is to subscribe to Earthwaves. Alright, now you can't resist subscribing, so let's come back to the topic. All worlds with gems can spawn elemental creatures. Those creatures can cause elemental effects when attacking, usually in the form of a penalty to target stats. Element creatures can be recognized easily by their special decals corresponding to elements they are connected to. Let's take a look at some examples. Underwim is a world of diamonds, so also a blast element, and you can find blasting creatures there, like this blasting wildstock. Its special decal applies to its antlers and hooves, so you can see the connection between the decal's colors and Underwim sky, as well as the white shiny parts on it that correspond to a diamond's white color. On the Vulpto you can find Ruby, a gem connected to Burn, so you can also find burning creatures there. And you have an example of a burning wildstock. You can see a nice flame-like decal on its antlers there. Then on Najaril, since it's a world spawning sapphire, you can meet chilling creatures as Chill is Sapphire's element. And you can see a great example of elite chilling wildstock here. And very nice decal, ice looking decal. Then on Epsilon you can meet shocking creatures, as Epsilon is a world spawning topaz, and topaz is a gem of shock element. And this shocking wildstock here has a nice yellow decal on its antlers and hooves again, corresponding to the color of topaz, of course. So, and then on Alternic you can see toxic creatures connected to an element of toxin, which is then connected to emerald that can be found on Alternic. You can see those green splashes on this toxic wildstock antlers here, which is obviously connected to the color of emerald. And then finally Montine 7, because it's the world of amethyst and corrosion element, it can spawn corrosive creatures like this corrosive wildstock here, and you can see how it stands out comparing to other typical wildstock around, with its nice distinctive decal of a purple color on antlers and hooves. And here is a chart at the end that summarizes everything we've talked about until this point. So we have all the worlds listed there and the gems found on those worlds, and also the elements connected to the gems, and the names used for elemental creatures depending on which element they represent. The next step in competition instructions is to pick your favorite element. Keep it to yourself for now, you will use it later. You as a player can also benefit from elemental effects when fighting, and that's thanks to gem sling bows, as they inherit elemental properties of gems they are made of. So you can counter elemental creatures with the sling bows that you have in your arsenal.
You can even become better than them, as you can carry several types of slings and have a few different elemental attacks in your disposal. The elemental creatures can only have one element at their command each. So I will show you an example of how gem sling bows can affect creatures you fight. I will just state here in advance that not all element icons seem to be implemented and show in creatures HUD when they're under elemental effect. And the same if it comes to players HUD. So let's say if I fire my infectious sling bow and cause poison here, it shows in the battle log right hand side, and it states also how long the effect lasts. It's 30 seconds, and you can see an icon in creature's HUD. However, if I use a different sling bow with different effect, and the battle log will say that I affected cattle trunk with burn, you won't see an icon in that cattle trunk HUD showing that indeed the burn effect is working. So the icon system that is supposed to show you all the effects and all happening to you or creatures you fight with, it's not fully implemented, and it won't give you all the information you need. At the moment, your best guide is the battle log. We are almost there with the instructions to enter the competition. The thing you need to do now is to pick a number between 0 and 9. Just like before, keep it to yourself, you will use it later. Gems also found their way to crafting machines, as the machines are color-coded following gem colors. It doesn't mean that the machines display elemental effects or give such effects to all items crafted in them. It's simply a guide to machine maintenance. The color of machine parts indicate what spanners are best used to fix them. So if it comes to that color coding, now each machine have two parts showing that color code. It's always a part that piston looking like part that is on top of the workbench here, and cube shaped part empty inside also have this colored light that corresponds with the gem. So in case of workbench, as you can see, you have the white color, those two parts, and that indicates that the workbench is connected to diamonds, and that also means that the diamond workbench spanner is the best used to fix it. Then if it comes to compactor, you can see that piston part here and the cube here have both red color, and that means the ruby spanner is the best to fix it. Then we can move to extractor to see the blue color here, and that means that sapphire spanner is the best to fix it. And now a mixer, as you can see, have those parts in green color, and that means that the emerald spanner is the best to fix mixers. And now last but not least, the refinery. The red gleam here affects the lighting a bit, but comparing to compactor, you can see that this is actually not orange or red, it's a yellow color, and that means that refinery is best fixed using topaz spanner. All the machines can be fixed by any spanner, starting with stone and then copper, iron, and so on. However, using a gem spanner of corresponding color will give you the most durability fix rate per spanner use. So it's the most efficient way of fixing machines. And now if it comes to power coils, they follow the same color code, which makes it easier to connect them to the right machines. So whenever you're confused with the long names of the power coils, when you have them in your hand trying to make all the connections with machines, and then the long names of the power coils can be quite confusing. So just the easiest thing to do then is just to follow a color code, so you can see if you have a workbench put in place and then you browse through several power coils that you have in your inventory, then simply just look at the color, and the white power coils go to a white workbench, and then the blue power coils go to blue extractor, and the yellow power coils go to a yellow coded refinery. Then you have compactor, so the red power coils go to red compactor, and eventually the green ones, the green power coils, connect to green mixer. So that's the easiest way to not get confused about where they go. Other than that, power coils with their colors also indicate, just like the machines, which of the spanners is the best to fix them. So the green power coils used to connect to mixer are best fixed with emerald spanner, and then the yellow refinery power coils are best fixed with topaz, and so on, exactly like with the machines. So that's it if it comes to the machines that are in game now, and there are 5 of them. And since there are 6 gems, there is one machine missing, and that machine is called Forge, and it will be introduced to the game soon enough. It has been announced not long ago that it will come to the game in one of the next big updates. And because we talked about all the colors of the machines that are already in game, and we are only missing one, we didn't talk about the amethyst spanner and purple color. We can safely guess that that's going to be the color code of Forge, especially that we are able to craft amethyst spanner already, and it's called amethyst forge spanner. So that's a clear indication that the forge is going to have a purple color code, and that the amethyst spanner is going to be the most effective in fixing it. The final step to enter the competition is to comment on this video with all important information. First, you start with your Boundless name, if different than your YouTube name. Second, tell us what is your favorite element. Third, state the number between 0 and 9 that you have picked. As long as I can verify you liked and subscribed, you are in the competition and in the prize draw. And as I said before, the draw will take place 1 week after posting the video in Boundless forum. Alright, to complete the subject, let's take a look at the elements chart again. And if you think there is something missing here, you're absolutely right. There are 4 more elements that we haven't talked about yet, and that's because they are not in game yet. New worlds before full release have been confirmed already. I think we can expect new materials or resources, and also new creatures coming with that, or maybe even before the new planet's introduction actually. Some of the new materials will be associated with new elements for sure,
and new creatures may well use new elemental attacks. And not much is known about the 4 missing elements that you can see now in the chart here. So let's just introduce them by names and so we can see their colors as well. So continuing the clockwise movement after the 6 gem elements, we have Rift, Urt, which of course brings us back to the past when the game was called Urt Online. And then after that we have Blink, and the last one is called Dark. Alright, so that's it in the subject of elements in Boundless. The video is long enough as it is, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and found it useful. And remember to stay boundless. Right, and good luck in the competition.